As I've suggested, evidence of magic and supernatural beliefs can be observed in all relevant aspects of Trobriand life, from the cradle to the grave, and even beyond. For example, an indication of the significance that gardening holds in Trobriand life is the fact that each village possesses a Towosi, or garden magician, who inherits his magic from his father. The garden magician is there with the gardeners every step of the way, really, enhancing the work they do with magic that asserts control over the mysteries of life. In other words, how the garden grows. Gardening provides you with food, right? Which is essential. Do you really want to leave the production of your food to chance? Not in a culture that believes in spirits living in the natural world around them. You might think a seed knows what it's supposed to do when you plant it, but you might be wrong. Don't take chances. Magic is how you tell the seed what to do. A Trobriand farmer wouldn't think about moving on to each stage of gardening without a Towosi to assist him. A Towosi and his rites of magic to protect and nurture the crops. Thus, the magician speaks spells and invokes ancestors during the clearing away of the land for cultivation, the planting of the seeds, the sprouting of the plants, and the harvesting. This is an adapted version of one of the 10 spells used in gardening. Cause, make it, be efficient. Cause to come, cause to go. My grandfathers, you, my grandfathers, go down, O you roots, bore into the ground. Help them to go down, O ancestors, help them to bore into the ground. Ancestor changes. Ancestor settles on to the platform of the spirits. Apart from gardening, Trobriand men depend on their skill as sailors, which gives them another source of food, from the sea. Sailing is also how you communicate and trade with your neighbors on other islands. And business, trading, is a big deal to the Trobrianders. But sailing requires the construction of a sturdy canoe, and no canoe is ever built without the extensive voicing of proper protective spells. The process begins with cutting down a tree from which the canoe will be carved. Well, the Trobrianders are animists, which again means spirits, right? Spirits in the world around them, sometimes in the form of angry spirits or sprites. The tree you want to cut down is inhabited by a wood sprite, known as a tokwai. If you want to use that tree as a canoe, you first have to expel the wood sprite from it. Otherwise, it'll stay in the wood of your canoe and try to harm you. So how do you get rid of the wood sprite? First, you cut an incision into the trunk of the tree and place a bit of food there as an offering to lure the tokwai out. Then you speak the Vabusi Tokwai spell. Come down, O wood sprites, dwellers in branches, come down, come eat. Go to your coral outcrop over there, crowd there, swarm there, be noisy there, scream there, step down from our tree, old men. Another form of magic is intended to enhance one's physical beauty. Men and women both might use such magic to make themselves more appealing to a potential lover, a mate. However, beauty magic is not only used to attract a mate. Men use beauty magic during commercial ventures. Remember the trading with neighboring islands? To make themselves irresistible to their trading partners, not for the sake of sexual activity, instead to ensure the sale and acquisition of goods. So when a trading canoe has been prepared, the crew speak magical spells before departing to another island to meet their trading partners. On the beach, they collect banana leaves and open up their makeup kits of natural items, which consists of betel nuts, coconut oil, tree rosin, things like that. With the Toliwaga, or captain of the boat, to help them, they speak magical spells over these items before applying them. But you have to remember, that's important, to intone the spells directly over the objects being charmed so that the magic doesn't escape. Finally, we need to say something about black magic, don't we? The most serious and feared form of magic is, of course, magic that can be used to hurt or even kill someone. And yes, the Trobrianders have that too. We refer to this type of magic as black magic. Black magic can't be performed by just anyone. It can only be performed by a black magician or sorcerer, whom the Trobrianders term a Bwagau. There may be several Bwagau in each district, and each Bwagau has been trained to use spells to either hurt or protect people. Some of these spells create a magical illness in the victim, an illness that's called a kainagola. If you have a kainagola, then you should probably look for a competing sorcerer to help cure you. Otherwise, you could die from this illness, or from a subsequent attack. After all, you know that a sorcerer means business. He has proven himself to be a cold, efficient killer through his training, which culminated in a final test. After they've learned all the appropriate spells from their teacher, the final test that each sorcerer faces is to attack and at least hurt someone in his own family. And by tradition, his first victim should be within his mother's family. For instance, his own mother or sister. That makes you stop and think, doesn't it? This guy really means business. Witches use spells as well, but they typically don't use spells to kill people. Instead, a witch, or yoyova, uses magical spells to paralyze a victim so that they can't escape. She then kills her victim by eating part of the victim's body. Yeah, eating. It's a type of spiritual cannibalism, really, performed not by the witch, but by her own invisible spirit. While the witch's body lies at home, asleep, her spirit, or mulukwausi, rises into the air and flies over the island, searching for a victim. The mulukwausi is hungry. When she finds her victim, she paralyzes him and then reaches into his body to take out his internal organs, like his heart, lungs, or brain. And she knows how to do this because her own mother taught her how. Unlike male sorcerers, a woman can only be a witch if her mother is a witch and has properly baptized her daughter. Baptism refers to a ritual purification that involves seawater in this case. If you know that a witch is trying to hurt you, you should probably hire a rival witch to protect you. Both sorcerers and witches are for hire. That's how they make their living, basically.